Afternoon, everybody. Yes, Welford Road. It's felt like a while because it has been a while. 50 days since we were last here for a Premiership game. Early October when Sale went away with the win. It has been far too long, but here we go again. So what are the teams for one final time? Steve Borthwick can pick Nemani Nandolo in this Leicester lineup. He's flying back to Australia after this to spend more time with his family. He'll be causing mayhem for the Waratahs soon enough. The five-star player Tigers brought in at the start of the season, Anthony Watson, gets a run from fullback against the team he used to run around for. Up front, they can call upon Tommy Raffel again, fresh from his autumn exploits for Wales. Argentina's Julian Montoya as well. And George Martin will be amongst the line-out targets he will be aiming at. Martin stepping up from the back row to the second row today. We've talked of Montoya. Irish and Declan Kidney get to call upon their own hooking puma as well. Agustin Creevy set to go head-to-head with his compatriot. That promises to be tasty, maybe a bit testy, we'll see. Like the look of the Exiles back row with skipper Rogerson, Fa'a So'o and Tom Pearson, who continues to attract the approving attention of expert eyes. He was part of England's autumn training squad. Behind the pack, some proper flyers, including Ollie Hassel-Collins. Hassel-Collins against Chris Ashton, one of the big attractions. Parton, Loader, Joseph, all with some toe.
And looking to a head-to-head amongst the forwards, I think you can't go away, particularly with the style of play that London Irish want to impart on this game, of the two number sevens. So much good talent of young players in the Premiership in this position, but these are two of the very best, both just trying to forge their way into international rugby. Raffel's already there, Pearson not far behind him.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the back lines go head-to-head as well. The 10s are going to have to kick really intelligently because the back threes are so dangerous. Look at the wings, Loader, Nandolo, Ashton, Hassel-Collins, but for me it's about the 15s. Tidy players required on this pitch, making sure you take those high balls, but also last line of defence is going to be vital for Watson and Parton.
Which of those wingers would you least like to defend against?
Nandolo. That's an easy question. It's like saying, do you like food, to Ben? And to Nandolo.
If you had liked it a bit more, you could have tackled Nandolo to it. There we go.
We're always told that pace is the toughest thing to deal with, but actually it's the size of Nandolo that makes him, and he's not slow, is he? But it's his size as well.
Depends who you're asking the question of. If you're fast and small, then you're not that worried about pace. If you're small, you're worried about Nandolo coming straight over the top of you and you going to across the road to the infirmary.
Well, I guess in another life, this man, Matt Rogerson, captain of London Irish today, might have played for Leicester. I don't know how close he ever came, but he studied up the road at Loughborough University, so he'll know all about this place, as will all of these chaps walking carefully down the steps behind him. Lost narrowly at Sandy Park 2 weeks ago. Extraordinary comeback. They were 19 points down at one point. 22-17 it ended as Les Kiss and the crew drew the Chiefs back. Both sides really looking forward to getting going again today, rolling up their sleeves after a November, I guess, with more stops than starts. It's always a difficult time for everybody, players, coaches, us. But we're looking forward to dirtying our Premiership boots once more, as is this man, Hanro Liebenberg. I'm sure he'd have been watching the telly yesterday, enjoying his compatriots going about business at Twickenham. But there's no place like home. They've missed this place. It's been a while. 50 days, but the wait's over. Combination of lost fixtures against Wasps and Worcester, of course, and then they had a bye weekend as well in the middle of all that. Does mean that it's been 7 weeks since they last ran out here at Welford Road in the Gallagher Premiership. And for one last time, he makes his way down those steps and thunders onto the pitch. He's bedded beautifully into Leicestershire life. He'll be bedding back in Australia soon enough. Now, before we get going, we are, of course, all here today going to pay tribute to Doddy Weir, wonderful Doddy, who died yesterday, finally lost his battle to motor neurone disease. Remember him playing here for Newcastle in the late 90s, the season they went on to win the Premiership. And everyone here is going to celebrate Doddy's life and all he leaves behind.
For a minute's applause in his memory, which will end on the referee's whistle.
My goodness, well, there's a man who has raised a boatload of money for his mate Rob Burrow, and also helped raise the profile of the fight against MND. And I heard Andy Nicol talk beautifully on the radio this morning about the legacy of Doddy and how Doddy had given that fight against motor neurone disease a voice, and I suppose that's the greatest thing you can leave behind when you have to go. And how much Doddy leaves behind. Anthony Woodthorpe, our referee today. Jack Makepeace and Wayne Fowler are the assistants. Our TMO in the truck in the car park behind us is David Rose. A little wink from Matt Rogerson, Harry Potter in midfield alongside Matt Scott again today. It's a mild November day in the East Midlands, and it's dry, and it's Leicester, and it's London Irish.
Tommy, run for this.
Leicester in the green, Irish in the white. Freddie Burns kicks off. And underneath, an early test for Bernard van Rensburg, who, despite the buffeting, holds on.
Tackle move.
Irish scrum half today is Joe Powell.
Use it now. Time you run.
Yeah, big day for him. Got to get these kicks right. It's not a bad start.
Hassel Collins leading the chase, and Van Rensburg as well, who's impressed us every time we've seen Irish recently. Montosha back in a Leicester shirt and immediately creating some space for Cracknell.
Cracknell's been one of Leicester's best signings, I think. He's been absolutely phenomenal every time we've seen him. Only knows one way, and that's forward, but combining so nicely with Montosha. Montosha goes right to the line and tracks in two. I think it's Chawatama that just steps in, probably commits himself a bit too much, creates that little opening for Cracknell to burst through, and Leicester have the ideal start, line out on the 5 metre line.
I really do. It's not something that anyone in the coaching staff of Irish will want to see. Very simple, numbered off defensively. You just show the outside shoulder, and like Ben said, Cracknell has been very, very good for Leicester in the last 50 days.
Yes, they've all had a decent rest, and Liebenberg part of that shift drive, and here's Nandolo not waiting long to muddy his knees, and Leicester not waiting long to have a thud around that Irish try line.
Looked forward to me, that nick, that pass to Nandolo. It looked like he'd overrun it.
Driving up. Soto doing what he can to hold Leicester up. Montosha looking at the post, goes round the post and seems to have got that ball down. Not taken long.
That's a try. It's really bright from Leicester to move away from the line-out drive. The Irish would have spent all week worrying about how they defend Steve Borthwick's major strength. And they play straight away from it really nicely in using Nemani Nandolo off his wing.
There's a question though, Nick. And is it forward? Yes, it is. It's a mile forward.
But here, actually, it could have been a lot easier if Leicester, I think London Irish, had they had that ball, would have gone wide on the second phase. Leicester happy to use the forwards, and Montoya eventually buries himself over the line.
I'm surprised they haven't gone back and looked at that, because it couldn't have been more obvious, could it?
Well, David Rose, the TMO, has until we restart now. It's not until the conversion. They've stretched that period of consultation. But on we go. Try stands. Yep.
Good competition.
Just a word, by the way. Sorry, Ben. Say what you're going to say.
Just turnover from Leicester. Watson goes up. Doesn't manage to deal with it. Good position here.
Ratuni Ruawa. Powell giving it some width and taken by Jackson.
It was
Not
never
taken on the far side by Ben
It was
Loader.
difficult for Loader. That it was never on that pass from Jackson. The angle that he picked and then tried to drop Loader back inside, really tough for him.
Yeah, we played away. We played away long distance.
Just to say, by the way, going back to the business of the TMO and the time they get to have a look at it, it makes absolute sense to extend that period of appeal up until the kickoff.
Keep the flow of the game going, but there's a lot of time to look at that, and it was a complicated play which Nandolo set off too early for. Let's look at it again.
We're inside.
It's a mile forward. It's not even close. It's not even close to being sideways. If you're a London Irish fan, in fact, just a fan of the laws, you're going to be a bit upset by that.
Crooks! Bind!
Leicester scrum, now a Leicester free kick. Irish a little bit eager.
Intriguing battle, that, isn't it, between Montoya and Creevy, those two front rows. Jejenya, compatriot in there as well, former Leicester Tiger himself.
Always inside.
What a kick.
Yeah, he's given that plenty of beans, hasn't he?
Irish line out.
Cleverly, instead of running straight, you see a lot of guys there run straight and kick it, which means you're going to lose meters. He steps to the right, opens up the angle ever so slightly and kicks around the corner a bit more. Makes it a lot more likely for him to make more ground.
Irish happy to go to the front. They throw to the back an awful lot, which helps their attacking game, but they're going straight through the middle, but they didn't take the ball with them. Augustine Creevy, the man who steps into touch, but Irish thought they'd found a little bit of a gap up front, but just got separated. Creevy trying to work to get the ball out, starting to go towards the touchline, just gets spun out by Ratuni Ruawa.
2 balls. I've heard 7.
One ball too many on the pitch. That's the reason we are having a reset. Julian Montoya, part of that fabulous Argentina win at Twickenham at the start of the autumn. Nandolo, Wigglesworth and Cracknell up against old mates as well. Ollie Cracknell last season with them. Oh, and flung across, very flat and questioning by Burns, and Leicester invited to run onto it, which they do with glee. Dan Cole taking on Lovejoy Chawatama. Liebenberg laying it back. Burns, cheekily angled kick, asking some questions of Loader.
13's always in front.
Leicester offside, penalty goes against Harry Potter.
Good communication by the officials, but Potter doesn't hear it.
13 in front.
I think the call was made from the referee's assistant on that side, and Anthony Woodthorpe He's absolutely right. As soon as he went, the referee had his back to him, got communication from his assistant, told Potter he had to stop. But
it's a big let-off for Irish, that, isn't it? It's a reasonable kick, puts them down in the corner. Now they get the opportunity. Instead of attacking line-out, they're going to have to defend one, probably close to their own 22. Reasonable kick from Paddy Jackson if it makes it that. Really good.
This Irish line-out, Benny, 92% success rate this season. I know those percentages can be skewed sometimes, but given that they do go to the back so often, what makes this so good?
Well, phenomenal, really, to get that high when they get hit that long. But teams know they want to play wide, so they will be trying to stop that. Northampton have a very high success rate as well, and we know they want to play wide, but a lot of theirs goes to the front because they're gifted the front. Irish aren't happy with just being gifted the front. They want to play a bit, so they're happy to take it off the back and take teams on.
And here they go, and Powell and Will Joseph snaking his way up, and now Loader. Leicester sandbagging on their own try line. Fa'asa Olo waits with some interest, so too Tom Pearson, and the drive all of their own, and
defence is brilliant. It's something that Austin's talked about doing. I still feel occasionally it's a bit risky, but when you know the player's going to go over the line, to fall backwards and let them fall on top of you, if you can get a really good grip on the ball, it's exactly what happens there, and the ball can't be placed. The risk is that they manage to rip it off you, but fold underneath it, drag them back on top of you, let them win the collision. And it's James Whitcomb who comes up with a big tackle, and Leicester now get the clearance from under their own sticks.
Whitcomb finishing underneath Ratuni Urawa. Restart taken by Parton. Irish can build again just outside the 22. Fa'asa Olo. Rogerson.
Thank you.
Powell. There goes Creevy. Jackson. Hassel Collins popping up a little bit closer to the action and creating some space for Joseph. Now it's further wide to Loader. Just a hint of a joggle, but plenty of forward movement as well, and so much so that it draws the Leicester penalty.
Assist clearly come off.
They've been happy to go to the corner up till now. Paddy Jackson looks like he's going to get to the 5 metre, a little bit closer, but they've looked dynamic from their line-out drives and their little plays off them so far, London Irish. Big opportunity, have to convert.
Declan Danaher just rubbing his head at the back, very much part of this line-out operation. Forwards coach Cornel van Sale as well. And Agustin Creevy. The first part of this process. Leicester were up, but Chunyamunga was up highest, and Irish fold in behind effectively, and Creevy, who's already scored a bagload of tries this season, stopped just short, but still this very obvious threat, and taken on by Hihanya, former Leicester player, and now Rogerson. And Ratuni Urawa once more, stretching, sliding, scoring. This time, no chance that anyone will get underneath that ball.
Austin said pre-match that both teams need a little bit of what the others do in their game, and we see London Irish there bringing a very Leicester-like attack. Hit initially from the drive. Rafael does really well to stop Creevy just as he looks like he's going to burst through towards the line, but as they come around the corner, the leg drive's good. Ratuni Urawa in position, just drops that right shoulder and almost slides through Freddie Burns. Leicester wouldn't have wanted Burns there as their main tackler on that right-hand side. And it's Nandolo, isn't it, that he takes on and drags through the line because he's on that diagonal.
It's a clever play, that, isn't it? Rather than just fronting up and trying to beat them physically and going head-to-head, the Tigers pack. Try and get the outside shoulder, keep your legs away from the tackle, keep them pumping. And it doesn't matter if Nandolo's there or not. You're going to carry him from 5 metres. It's a lot of shopping to carry that from 5 metres.
Yeah, it's a trolley job, that's for sure. all the way to the car boot. And Leicester have been pulled back. Irish very quickly back on level terms. 7 points apiece.
I think they'll be absolutely delighted with that. I think it's Matt Scott, isn't it, that's just outside Nandolo and gambles on the tip-on pass from Ratunyarawa, opens up a little bit of a dogleg and he just goes straight through.
Lost forwards, yeah, it's got to move on his screen.
It's lost. Leicester with the scrum at the very least. Wigglesworth beyond Liebenberg. Irish have ripped it away, but back we come.
Don't see that very often. Montoya stripped to the ball in contact. Irish just struggled a bit on both kickoffs so far.
Just control your weight. Fairly chase your feet there and went through.
See, I don't understand in that scenario, right, when you're in the 22, why you would lift with a pod. Or in fact, why you would lift with a pod anyway. If it's far, well, probably if you're close, you'd want a pod to get more height. But if you're in the 22, a winger's not going to be there in time to tap it back. So you may as well just jump yourself. He can't hit you when you're in the air. He has to wait for you to land. So you're in an almost identical scenario, but with less risk.
I think that's part of it, is setting up the drive is often easier with a lift because you've got your lifters in place as the blockers and they can't hit you, whereas if it comes down and your feet are on the floor, those chasing players can just smash through you.
Scrum goes down. And it was Wayne Fallett, the assistant referee, on this near side in front of the terrace that picked out Facundo Gehenya.
Know a little bit about each other, Cole and Virginia. They would have faced up a few times on the training paddock as well in live sessions. You can just see his face appear as he bent underneath himself.
One or two words that aren't in the dictionary, so apologies for those. Leicester regather, taken by Martin. Interesting to see how Martin goes in second row today. He's doing a bit of moonlighting there again. Wigglesworth just hints perhaps at sniping down that blind side, and there he goes. He did signal it. His body was leaning that way and his body was not lying. That's the route he took. And Tiger joy, Leicester back ahead.
Oh, that's bonkers that he could find so much space down that blind side. Look, it's Hassel Collins that thinks I need to get my head in, just completely leaves his post. No idea where the ball is. His head's up almost looking for it, and by the time he spots Wigglesworth gone, oh, they just need to check the grounding.
Woody, just hold this please, mate.
Does he get back in time to effect enough of a tackle? Like you said, Ben, he should not be leaving that space. Does he lose control? Oh, no, that's not going to tell us that angle, is it?
Yeah, it's blue, please, mate.
Fingertips here. Do they stay on? No.
I think he's lost that.
Woody, we need to formally review this one, mate, please.
I think he's lost control.
It's whether there's clear separation, isn't there?
What are we checking, Rosie?
That won't show us. It's
please,
that
mate.
first angle. We'll have to go really slow.
We're just going to get the first picture now, mate. We're going to try and slow it down and rock and roll it as well.
That's fine. So we got on-field decision of try. That's what we're checking.
There are two fingers on it when the ball hits the ground.
So I'm just going to bring that back again, Woody, for it. We're going to rock and roll it.
That's fine.
It's got another angle coming up, mate.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
It's probably the best one here now.
Yeah. So Rosie, we've just got to check that we've got clear separation.
I think because the try's been given and awarded, it's going to play in his favour because, as we've just heard from Anthony Woodthorpe, there's got to be clear separation, clear daylight.
I don't think there is. He's got two fingers on. That's a try then.
Yeah. Woody? Yeah, we're okay. There's no separation there.
Okay,
Just
actually no
it down.
separation, so we try stance.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
As you said, Hassel Collins will watch this back and think that is not good defending from a winger.
No, the way the maul was angling and the way that Wigglesworth was offering his thoughts with a body position.
Yeah,
And the fact the ref had said use it.
So tight, that one.
Because he said use it, they can't go forward after that point and score a try, so it doesn't matter. Just got to cover your channel. It's not the best kick from Freddie, but if we take another look at it, as Ben said, we saw it before. Your job here as a winger is to make sure that 5-metre channel, nobody comes down it. Okay, if the maul spins out and they go round, then fine. You've got to stop the drive. But in this scenario, the drive stopped anyway, it's dead. And he's not even hit the maul, he's just hid behind it. It's a good finish and well spotted from Wigglesworth.
Okay, tackle is inside. Balls over. Okay, inside. Use it, please, 9. Time
Martin, the last big concrete block behind which Wigglesworth clears. Happy just to ship it up to halfway. Powell, Jackson, Parton. Always busy with the ball in hand. Fast feet, Parton. Threat he poses that Saracens have noted and have secured for next season. Creevy. Through for Will Joseph. Jackson. Van Rensburg doing what he can to get underneath it. Not quite. Cole to Watson, to Burns. And because there's a knock-on advantage, the advantage does not last long. And that's a decent kick, and Jackson finds himself in a little bit of bother. But that is a wonderful boot.
It's a good tactic against Leicester to try and get rid of some of that line speed. The little chip over the top. Jackson goes really short with his kick, nearly pays off. Van Rensburg's called it. He runs the line. Brilliant blocking line from Cracknell there. Just does enough to put Van Rensburg off. And then pumped down into their own 5-metre line. That's a really good clearance from Jackson, but good variation to play. We know they're going to play wide, but if you can keep Leicester's defensive line honest with those little chips through as well, you might open up a bit of space for your wide players.
Looking for Liebenberg at the tail of the line out, right on the 15-metre line. So Irish's backs couldn't come up. Now they can.
And alongside. Okay, that's once.
Montosha ferries it back for Wigglesworth. Creates some space for the kick. Parton, eyes on the ball. Never took his eyes off the ball.
Okay, tackle is inside. Tackle made inside. Use it now.
Powell.
2.
It'll land on halfway and into the arms of Anthony Watson, running against not necessarily old mates, but certainly an old team. Team's changed an awful lot since he started his career in it. Bit of a juggle, but no harm done. Rogerson on very quickly in defence, however. Here's Cracknell, who very much is running against old mates. Very little about the Irish team has changed since he was last in it, including their fullback.
Might be in trouble here. They didn't get fast enough ball. There was a load of front rows on this side to attack on.
Watson. Mark called for by Paddy Jackson.
Boys inside.
Oh, mistake.
Big mistake, because here comes a big man rumbling up. He got up to 4th gear at that point. Wigglesworth.
Take him back in.
Burns. Once more Tom Parton.
Boys inside.
He's had prettier ones. We can have a word with Les Kiss, who isn't far away from us here in the main stand. What are you making of this, Les?
Yeah, I don't think anyone's really got into their game as yet, and there's been 3 tries on the board. It's interesting, but an untidy start from us, I think. Missed tackle, penalty, try, drop ball, free kick. We just need to be a bit tidier with our work and a bit more accurate.
The Wigglesworth try was a curious one, wasn't it? Because from here, you could see what he was trying to do from a while out.
Yeah, we probably switched off a fraction there, didn't we? But in a close call there. But I agree, you've got to give the advantage to the try scorer there.
Which attacking weapons have we not seen from you yet? What are you yet to lay out on the pitch in front of us?
Well, at the moment, when we've gone a little bit wide and we can get to some seams, it's been nice. But I think I'd like to have a little bit more pace on the ball off the 9, just a little bit more depth, get in there, just penetrate a little bit more, create a bit quick ball, because they are going tackler and bounce. So only putting one in there, so we need to be very accurate with our penetration so we can create space.
Good stuff. Thanks a lot, Les.
Thank you.
Great kick from Freddie Burns. It's a pass back into his own half, so it's not a 50-22. But it's still a fantastic kick. The other thing that Irish need is a bit of field position at the minute. They're spending way too much time in and around their 10, 20-metre line, and if you are playing rugby there, you'll get turned over and you'll concede points.
But that must happen to London Irish all the time. Teams only wanting to put one into the breakdown to preserve that width, so that tackle bounce is the tackler getting back to his feet and being the competition and the jackler. So they need to do a little bit more just to tie in extra Leicester shirts so they can get their wide game going.
Talk about the impact that Ollie Cracknell has had on this Leicester pack. Api Ratuniuawa always looked like a clever signing for Irish as well.
Fantastic in this game so far, carried really well.
Still playing advantage.
That latest carry was from Chunyamunga. Didn't get far, so Irish come back for their penalty.
There's not many packs more Leicester like that. It was a good 20-metre drive.
Creevy's been so good for London Irish in that facet, particularly as we know their DNA is to play, to have someone that's so good in the tight exchanges, such a good leader, almost an on-field coach from the forwards perspective. But there he is in the pocket, just transfers the ball to Ratuniuawa. No one in front, they're trying to get it to the back, and then they allow the breakout. And a good carry as well when Leicester have to commit too many bodies.
To the front, and Fa'asu'o. Oh, and Van Rensburg running with some intent. Leicester stopped him, but Creevy picks up the bits. Pearson looks interested. He's hit back by his old mate Cracknell. Powell, it was loose, and Leicester put an awful lot of pressure on that. And now the chase, and wonderful clip through from Scott, and his mate Potter chases, down on his knees, down for the score. And the combination that Leicester folk are beginning to enjoy, the combination they're calling Scotter, leads to another try.
Oh, it's fantastic from Scott, the skill and control to keep the ball alive. They'll just have to check that Potter doesn't stray slightly in front of him before that kick through's made. But in terms of execution from the centre, partnership absolutely superb. But does Potter manage to stay on side? Little juggle there, the little fly hack through, the ball sits up for him, but he has to take his time and be patient. That's all fine. I think it sticks up. He doesn't, but is he in front? Oh, I'm not sure it's tight. So they've got the line there to check, haven't they? The finish is good as well. The control to slide on his knees. Well, that looks fine from that angle, doesn't it?
Yeah, that angle there, Woody, is fine, mate.
But then to slide on the knees, use the grease and the wet surface.
Yeah, it's all good, mate.
It's not a combination that you would have necessarily picked out at the start of the season, but this Harry Potter, Matt Scott in midfield duo is working, Oz.
Yeah, it really is. That was a good example of it. Defensively, they've been put under quite a bit of pressure, and they seem to manage that. As a defensive partnership, that's what you want to get right first. You don't want to concede, and then if anything else you get off the back of it is a bonus.
He dropped his first one, Watson, on the kick-off, but since then he's been superb, both fielding the high kicks and counter-attacking back and from kick-offs.
Use it!
Wigglesworth swivels away. Parton's been busy up in the air. Cracknell onto him in double quick time. Oh, and Ratuni-Rawa's lost it. And Leicester with turnover ball, and it's good ball to use, and Burns pins his ears back, and Potter, Nandolo and Watson. Oh, now that...
Nothing wrong with the tackle. It's Watson who jumps to try and avoid the tackle.
There's nothing wrong with that tackle, Woody, because 15 jumps. So no foul play.
Watson just tries to jump inside and the tackle goes through, so that's why he flips in the air. There's not a lift of the leg, but again an error. Leicester very quick to find the space in the wide channel. Watson does really well to get into support. He's there initially, cuts the line, back on the inside. He feels the cover coming and just jumps off that.
It's good deep from Irish, actually, because they were so stretched. Van Rensburg just bides his time. He doesn't bite in. Waits until the channel goes to the outside, accelerates, makes that tackle, allows Loader then to have a one-on-one.
In 5.
Very good defence from what would normally be a concession of a try.
Tackle! Leave the floor! Onside count.
It's worth saying as well, we're quick to criticise when players go in high and we get the headshot and the yellow card. Powell's tackle there, because instinctively to stay high and to stay upright might have been at the back of his mind, but he got down really low and affected a very, very good tackle.
Defensively, he's put in a couple of good shots, actually. Just as you heard from Les Kiss, he's just got to tidy up his all-round 9 play around the base, get the ball away quicker, but also make sure that you're not making knock-ons or giving difficult passes for people like Ratuni-Rawa in the midfield to knock on.
On halfway, Montosha to Liebenberg. Liebenberg's arm being dragged back.
Almost a double offence there from, I think it's actually Ratuni-Rawa there being lifted up, but he closes the gap just before he goes in and then just gets the wrist of Liebenberg. Maybe Liebenberg doesn't do such a good job of staying strong in the air. He fails, he doesn't win that penalty, but very obvious that the wrist was being taken, and that's a very, very good kick right down to the 5-metre line, upping the percentage chance of scoring for Leicester.
We like our try predictor at line-out stats, and there's a pile of them. Probably work it out for yourself. The closer they are, the more likely they are to score. But anyway, we put some percentages on it for you.
Just needs to hide that ball, or someone needs to hide it for him, and that's what Whitcomb does.
Montosha still has it. Chunyamunga is in there. Awkwardly, it's gone down. Leicester with a penalty. Scott calling for it. Nandolo, he was merely a dummy, and Leicester and Watson creating some space, but again, it was hard work from Hassel-Collins in midfield, and that slowed them up.
Watson would have been penalised had the penalty not been coming for not releasing the ball, but Irish had done a really good job of getting in onto this maul.
Yeah, Kikenya, I don't know what he was doing. It was stopped. They'd had players around the side, they got through the middle, they'd clamped it, it was looking like a scrum, and then I think it was Kikenya that comes straight in from the side and just sinks it. Look, they've done a great job there, they've stopped it. I mean, that's just stupid play.
Leicester get another go. Montosha to Liebenberg. Hefty shove.
Bit upright for Leicester. Need to try and get some lower bodies.
Whitcomb part of the thrust. That close. Scott looks interested. Not sure whether the forwards will be interested in giving it to him. He's not far away, but for the time being, Leicester operating in the shadows with the line within sight. And that's why they continue to operate in the shadows and why they do it so well. And a returning Raffel over the line. And Leicester have a third try.
Tommy Raffel's detail is so good. His detail of the little shapes that he has to get himself into when he clamps in over the opposition ball. But here, it's a really difficult finish. We've seen Leicester with a couple of players pre for Raffel struggle to get over the line. They just managed to spin around and lose some of the London Irish players, but there's the first effort. But just look how quick the movement is and how he extends to get the ball over the line here. There he is, eyes on it, just checking where everyone is. pinpoints the line. Maybe Munga just a little bit guilty with Pearson alongside him of being a little bit too far back with their feet and not taking a step forward to meet Rafael.
Rafael's third of the season, Leicester's fourth of the match, and it's a bonus point try, and we've only played half an hour.
Yeah, Irish have got to get a grip of this. It could get away from them very, very quickly otherwise. Every time they've made a mistake, the transition from Leicester has been excellent. Turn a defence into attack very, very quickly.
Jackson, a little stabbed one down the middle. And Hassel Collins does very well to beat Watson to it. And Jackson sprints into that attacking line. Ratuniuawa on the other side. Powell beyond Pearson to Bernard van Rensburg, regular breacher of gain lines this season for Irish. Chawatawa. All part of that as well, and that's nice from Will Joseph. Starting to see flashes and sparks from his boot increasingly this season. Ratuniuawa. Powell, Jackson, Pearson. Oh, he's got away from Freddie Burns.
That's a roll, though. You can't do that. Extra roll. He'd done all the hard work, got in behind. It's so instinctive there. Do you think that you just got to roll to present the ball? Like you said, Joseph, they look dangerous, don't they? 11, 13, 14, 15 in the wild channels, but really good carry. He should present there, but no, he goes one more time, which it doesn't enable the Jackal Rafael to get over the top.
Again, just look at that detail of Rafael. He's the man who makes the tackle. That's exactly what Les Kiss was talking about. The tackler reloading into the Jackal position. And it's so good, it forces the penalty to be given, because if he doesn't compete, the referee thinks, well, he's just trying to present the ball. But because he's rolled with a Jackler over the top of him, who's affected the tackle, the referee's no option really but to give the penalty.
Wales missed him yesterday. My goodness, they missed him because the game against the Wallabies in Cardiff fell outside the official test window. So here he is in the Gallagher Premiership, playing for Leicester, scoring tries for Leicester, winning turnovers and penalties for Leicester.
Yeah.
Don't quite understand that from Parton. It's an easy catch and kick. Now he's asked his forwards to run 40 metres back to now run 40 metres forward and defend.
It's good for the GPS. That's a very high ball, and Parton took that well. Hands above his head. A bit of pressure from Watson. Jackson, Hihenya.
Lands on the wrong side. One must roll away.
James Whitcomb, who gets up last.
Just watch Creevy here. Well, this is the traffic that Watson had to run through. Parton takes it well, but Creevy just making sure by sitting on Whitcomb that the referee knows, oh, I can't get it. Look, where's the ball, ref?
Got another Puma hooker, Ignacio Ruiz, joined this week.
Which tells me he's quite good, because either Creevy's trying to extend his career by getting in rubbish hookers, or he's saying you should really look at this guy for when I start to think about retiring.
South American hookers, wherever you look. Pearson. Oh, Van Rensburg, and nice little sleight of hand. Fa'asa'o nearly did enough to breach that defence, and Chunyamunga likewise. Leicester conceding the penalty inside their own half, and Creevy leads the applause.
This time Rafael doesn't get the detail quite right for Anthony Woodthorpe. Called it as soon as he went in, didn't he? Just maybe almost jumps into the breakdown.
Five minutes to half time. Paddy Jackson deciding that it's time to try to dig into this Leicester lead rather than take the three that were on offer.
Just maybe that extra. Oh, I don't think it's not too bad, is it? Oh, it's this one here, that's why.
Yeah, that one was really bad. A lot of guys in the line out.
Van Rensburg.
Yeah, one of them was Van Rensburg, my goodness. And it might yet work, and Irish again driving over.
That's a try.
And that is...
They haven't scored it, they've held themselves up.
Side of the ball, so I just want to check if he's got it grounded.
So when it's held up as initially goes over the line, unless he gets it down on the second attempt there.
Yeah, we'll just take time to just check it's grounded.
Jack Makepeace, the assistant on the far side.
If it's not a try, it's their own player's leg that holds it up.
Going to check for held up.
Van Rensburg with the 100% line-out stats today, I love that.
Held up over the line, so just checking.
Look at that, beautiful shape in the air. A little bit of a leg kick on the way down, but a little shift drive. Leicester struggling to deal with it. They get free, they get over the line.
I think if they don't score, it's a penalty try anyway for Cracknell collapsing.
There at the end, do they get it down? Oh no, it's Leicester legs initially.
Feels like it
That's
might be.
not.
Well,
but now, no, it's still up.
I think it's a penalty try. Cracknell collapses.
One more shot, mate.
let's listen to David Rose. He's the TMO.
That's Cracknell's leg underneath it, I think, Nick.
Woody, you're just going to check. We haven't got a collapse here, mate. 'Cause we've got the same ball, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got the same more.
Yeah. I'm just going to look at the actions in number 8.
Just make sure that A doesn't take it down
whether
in front of the line.
Okay,
in falling backwards, like we were talking about before, when you deliberately fall back and let the players land on top of you.
I think it's where you fall back, though. If you fall back in the field of play, it's collapsing. If you fall back over the line, no, it's a field of play. It's collapsed. It's a penalty try. And a yellow card.
Yeah. We'll show you from in goal, but I'm looking at the actions of 8 as they start to drive. Here we go.
So he's up there, but now he drops that right knee early, doesn't he? So I'd agree with the odds.
He's collapsing it before the line.
Yeah, he's pulling that
prevents
down.
a probable try, so it'll be a penalty try, yellow card against 8.
Yes.
8, he's collapsed it before the line for 8. Off you go, and it's penalty try. No, it's not. So we just checked it.
Well, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That one didn't. Irish score the try, the penalty try. Ollie Cracknell gets 10 minutes in the bin.
Before the line.
And upsettingly for the Leicester coaching staff, had that not been held up, it would have been a try. There wouldn't have been a yellow card. They wouldn't have checked the actions of Ollie Cracknell if they'd seen the ball grounded. But Leicester now have 10 minutes to think about that 7 points that they've just conceded.
Might be the turning point that London Irish are looking for. Bonus point down already. Had virtually no possession in this game that they've done anything with, and they've still got 14 points on the board. They want to start from this, though, making sure they secure possession from the kickoff.
Burns gets us going again. Chunyamunga. Oh, again he's lost it. And Whitcomb for Leicester, who are being gifted ball at the moment. Wigglesworth. Burns.
No hands, knocking advantage over.
Chawatama over the top, trying to whistle it back from Rafael. And Rogerson has it for Irish.
No hands, sets. Okay, we're inside. No, use it. Okay, no hands, Tigers.
Chawatama.
Might be on to go wide here. I know you don't think it's the right call, but the midfield is 1 and 3 for Leicester.
Yeah, Hassel-Collins provided the width on this left-hand side. Matt Scott, as you said that, Oz, looked over his right shoulder to see where Chris Ashton was, so there was concern in Matt Scott's mind. In the end, Irish kicked it away. Montosha carries it back for Leicester, and Burns. Liebenberg, throwing what weight around that he has. Van Rensburg, and he's got some sizable weight to throw around.
Watch Creevy hit. Just shoves one of the Leicester players who would have been in there to clear out, who gets in front of the ball. It's Callum Green, isn't it? Just a little push so he can drive over. Nothing wrong with the push, but really smart play from the Puma hooker again.
Yeah, he's definitely got hold of it.
He's one player you'd want in your team, isn't he?
It's brilliant.
I mean,
And
you got
Montoya as
on
well.
the other side.
Which
Can
one?
you play them both?
You could. There's no law against it. You play them both pretty much in any position.
Two hookers, Nick?
Yeah. There's London Irish's. Creevy picks out Ratunuawa. Chunyamunga cottons onto it and Leicester have it.
Long on transfer.
So we've seen this a couple of times this year. You can't pass the ball over the top of the body. If you do it and you play away immediately, you'll get away with it. But because two players have bound in on Rotuniurawa and then they pass the ball over the top to, I think, Pearson, high, you can't do that. You've got to transfer it through those initial two players, or as soon as Pearson gets it, he's got to play away.
Why?
To stop teams doing that, getting set up early and getting into a really good line-out position without having to transfer the ball. So you could almost set up like a scrum, and then the front jumper could just pass the ball over the top of everyone to the guy at the back. So it's just to make it a little bit harder to set up a driving position.
What's wrong with that?
What do you mean, what's wrong with it?
It's obstruction.
Okay.
It's an Irish half.
Don't get so upset about it, Nick.
Yeah, touchy.
I haven't seen you do it once. Don't start doing it now.
Not eating much today.
Keep the gap clearly inside
tell.
Irish half.
I think you look good, Nick. Don't
Cheers,
listen to him.
You look great. Half a minute to half time. It's been a busy first half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tries and a 6th with the penalty try.
Tackle, let it go, tackle.
George Martin waits. Liebenberg with the extra
it's a
shove and
turnover.
Green as well.
No. Second man.
Hassel Collins had. That wasn't Hassel Collins.
Richard Wigglesworth decides that will do. He was the scorer of one of Leicester's tries, so was that man Harry Potter, Julian Montosha and Tommy Rafael, bookending those two for Irish. Api Rotuniurawa, and then the penalty try at the end, which led to Ollie Cracknell's yellow card. So Irish a man up as they think about starting this second half in 10-15 minutes time, but Leicester a dozen points to the good. Half-time at Welford Road. Leicester 26, London Irish 14. Thank you, sir. Shepherd's delight. Or shepherd's pie, hopefully. Anyway, a couple of changes, more importantly for London Irish, both in the front row. He's on, Danilo Fischetti, and he's on as well, Mike Valemsa. So new hooker, new loose head prop. Facundo Gehenya has left us, and Agustin Creevy as well, which has to be an injury, you'd imagine. Irish have taken off their top try scorer, Agustin Creevy. So early, perhaps both enforced changes will get our man Brando, who prowls around the tunnel to find out exactly what's been going on. Brando's just dropped his bag of hula hoops in surprise to get on with it, so we'll bring you news when we can. Taken by Jackson.
There's no point holding him up because it's from a kick, so you'll still get the scrum anyway.
Some more, but from a kick in open play. Some more, but take a kick from open play.
Yeah, but it's still fun for Nandolo, isn't it?
Irish scrum.
Where are you going?
We're not hearing confirmation from Brando yet, but there has to be an injury, doesn't it, if they've taken Creevy off, would you imagine?
Well, yeah, you'd think so.
Unless he's coming back on for the last 20, Nick.
Unless they're managing his workload.
I thought we might have saw Ben White actually quite soon, just to try and pick up that pace of the ball. Powell's been good defensively, but getting the ball away from the base has not been the best, or as good as Ben White anyway.
Ben White back from a month away with Scotland amongst Irish's other replacements. Tactical, we're hearing, for both changes.
Creevy can't be tactical. It's like taking Pele off.
I merely report the facts, Austin, which is how I spend my life, reporting facts.
I wasn't having a go at you, Nick. I was having a go at the fact.
Okay.
Pele couldn't scrum.
That was a tackle before the ball as well. That's what he's asking for. And Rensburg. He's asking the ref again. He put the ball to the outside. It looked like the tackle was already started before the pass was made.
Just wonder whether just seeing Ben White there alongside Creevy.
Just before the pass gets there,
Isn't it?
I think that's a penalty.
Because of the 6-2 split on the bench that London Irish have, 6 forwards, they might be less willing to use Ben White now, just in case one of their backs gets injured.
Yes, they also have Ollie Hoskins as the tight head replacement. Josh Caulfield, Juan Martin Gonzalez, the Argentinian, and Chandler Cunningham South. Luca Marisi, the second of the 2 backs replacements that Declan Kidney has selected today. Just to confirm, by the way, for those of you who may not have been with us for the first time, Ollie Cracknell still serving out the last 3 or 4 minutes of his yellow card for Leicester. Down to 2 minutes now. Martin.
No! Get out! Good shot. Still got a tackle around the ball.
Montoya rumbles in just to provide an extra metre or so of room for Wigglesworth to hoist this skyward. Parton's been watertight under those. Ratuniuawa doing business not so long ago, just down the M1 at the Gardens. Tumbling Leicester players. Leicester players not retreating from the scene of the crime. George Martin, Irish penalty.
Just got caught in there, didn't he? As Leicester looked to counter-ruck.
Not rolling.
Where's Monet when you need him? Did Monet do any Leicestershire shots?
Yeah, there's a very famous Monet known as the Beehive Money stand.
Are you sponsored by them or something?
Beehive Monet.
No.
Oh. Pearson. Willemse. Don't encourage him, Ben. Taken on by Fischetti. Powell. Ratuniuawa, Jackson. No room for Joseph. Leicester's defence up so quickly, and Matt Scott doing that job. Ooh, a loose ball. That needs to be swept up, and is by Loader under an awful lot of pressure from Wigglesworth.
They don't half put pressure on themselves, Irish, don't they? When they start to throw it about, if they lose their structure and their shape. And this is what you don't want to be playing rugby here if you're not going forward.
Yeah, it looked a high tackle. I think it was Callum Green whose left arm just slid up, and that's what David Rose, the assistant, and Anthony Woodthorpe have settled on.
High tackle, 5.
Very disappointing from a Leicester defensive perspective, because it is high. Didn't need to be really, and Leicester looked like they were very comfortable defensively. And you've gifted Paddy Jackson an opportunity to stick this down near the Leicester 22, maybe just inside the Leicester 22. Ideal attacking position.
Yes. Yeah, send him on.
Saw Ollie Cracknell return, so Leicester back to 15, and here's the applause for the departing big man. A Leicestershire goodbye for Nemani Nandolo. I think you can safely say that's a move that worked for both parties.
Varnish.
With the advantage, it wasn't gathered cleanly by Ratuniuawa, but Pearson was on hand to make sure Irish could still play around with it, and Bernard van Rensburg. Powell, Ratuniuawa, head down, knees pumping. It's Ollie Cracknell and co working hard to defend the 22, but
Landing on the left there, on the 50.
Leicester penalty at the line out.
Yeah.
Chawatama just receiving a little bit of treatment after that offence by Leicester. Just got a player dropped on top of him, I think, as that lifter.
Yeah.
It's Liebenberg that just loses the lift. Time are already on the floor.
It's not a cross.
Well, they've been good in the line-out drives.
Irish pressing for the first points of the second half, and again it's Van Rensburg.
2 from 2.
Picked out this time by Valemsa, and Van Rensburg just gets himself back in the pack and then driven through, and Rogerson's there and they score. They've given some thought to these line-outs and it's working.
I tell you what, Bernard Van Rensburg might be their most prolific line-out forward, not only because he takes the ball, but watch what happens after he's transferred it and how he opens the hole up for Rogerson. There's the take, really nice placement of the ball. He gets into position and hits as hard as he can. There he is, just watch now. Drops off, comes back, hits in, spins the whole maul round, and Rogerson sees an opportunity to dart for the line, and nothing Freddie Burns can do.
Well, tell you what, he almost stops him, Freddie. Bounces him here, he's spinning him, but he just transfers the ball, Rogerson, into his left hand to put it down. Almost stops him. Brilliant finish.
Thanks, mate.
Well, not so long ago, Leicester led 26-7. Look at it now, 26-21.
And the response from the Leicester bench, from the Leicester coaching staff, is to throw on some international quality. Jasper Wiese, Ollie Chesham, both coming onto the field.
From 26, number 9, 21. Two replacements coming on for Leicester Tigers. Number 19, Ollie Chesham, and number 20, Jasper Wiese.
Backwards off white. You're gathered like green.
Done well on the restarts, Irish, today, haven't they?
Now, what of Leicester? Oh, they've lost that one, and Pearson comes away with it, and Van Rensburg and Hassel-Collins, and flying down the wing, and Burns, Hassel-Collins beating him, and Hassel-Collins runs a mile. An Irish, sensationally a level.
That's London Irish's hybrid player, Van Rensburg, that comes up with another perfectly timed pass this time. Crucial play, and then the pace of Hassel-Collins. Burns looked like he might just get a fingertip to him. I'm thinking that actually affects Watson, and he just starts to check the run. There's the turnover. Brilliant from Pearson. And then the hands were perfect, and then it was all about the foot race. Watson then goes to the afterburners, but it's too late with Hassel-Collins screaming down the touchline. Nothing he can do.
Just checking back at the ruck to check there was no knock-on into another body. I think it was Pearson, was it? Over the ball, got the turnover. Great pace to finish from there, though, wasn't it?
Oh, fabulously inventive start to the second half for Irish as well. Matt Rogerson first from a clever line out. Now Ollie Hassel-Collins from a spectacular sprint. And Paddy Jackson for the lead for the first time. Yes, just slides across. But we're level. 10 minutes into the second half, 26 each.
Here's the turnover. No, he's all right, that's fine. Then the hands here to stand and deliver from Van Rensburg just as the closing defender came in. Give his winger every chance to burn Freddie Burns, and he takes it with both hands.
Still can't take a restart.
That goes forwards.
That's 6 now. 6 restarts where they've not taken any of them.
Just coming back to that turnover as well, the value as soon as you win the turnover of getting it wide as quickly as possible.
Well, that's it. You can usually recover in and around the ball, but all your attacking shape out wide is completely different to defensively. Really good technique, strong hands on the ball, juggles with it a bit but keeps it up. And then it's often about not taking away the meters in the close areas and actually just going straight through the hands as quickly as you can to get it into the wide channel. Liebenberg can't get out there. Burns couldn't get out there, and Watson right at the end just ran out of room.
Let's have a chat with Brett Deacon. Brett, you've suddenly got a bit more on your plate than you had 5 minutes before half-time. What's going on?
Simply, it's penalties. So giving way too many penalties away, and you know, Irish are really dangerous. You see from that turnover there, they're dangerous. They'll shift the ball to the edge. So we don't want to be in an arm wrestle with a team like the Irish because they're so dangerous. But our discipline needs to change.
You like a line out. Were you expecting Bernard van Rensburg to be creating quite as much mayhem as he is?
Well, yeah, because we've seen that quite often from London Irish recently. So they have a lot of good plays around the front or around the back. So they're a hard team to stop.
What do you need to do?
Cut out the penalties, make sure we squeeze them in terms of their half, and we'll be okay when we get into the 22.
Thanks, Brett.
Cheers, bud.
Burns. Porter, who's on, and here's Potter.
Ooh. Did he wrap the arm though?
Yeah, Chris Ashton is asking that question. He might be involved a little bit more importantly. We're going to have a look at it. Yeah, David Rose, the TMO.
He hits the ball, absolutely hits the ball, which was Anthony Woodthorpe's initial response, but
he does try.
He does, yeah. He gets that left arm down.
He does try and wrap. He's got his left arm out. I think that's a bit harsh. It's an accidental
looks worse
collision
from that angle, doesn't it?
Got 2 tackles, he's falling. It's on the body, but it's still no arms penalty. Yeah. Judge the penalty. 2 tackles, he's falling. It's on the body, but it's no arms. On the line. Line.
Ollie Chesham, first Premiership game for a couple of months after a leg injury. Kept him out of the autumn internationals. He'll be very much on the minds of Julian Montoya here. So too Martin.
Speed of setup from Leicester was very, very good. Trying to drop those knees now, just get a creak of movement that they can all join in on. Good response from London Irish.
Scott comes in to add what weight he can to Leicester's thrust. Montoya. Harry Potter amongst the bigger men trying to win this ball back. Chesham's waiting. Looks like it'll be for Martin though. Oh no, they go on their own. Whitcomb with Cole trying to drag him over.
He's chasing the ball. He's chasing them with the ball.
These are the toughest meters to negotiate for Leicester. Irish determined that the contest that they've reignited will remain on level terms.
You say play advantage, Jack?
Montoya for Leicester.
Yep. Cole, oh, he doesn't hold on to it. Instead, it's Visa. Leicester back ahead.
That's really bright from Dan Cole. Everyone expecting him to be the man to pick and go, edge towards the line. Too often Leicester guilty of that, I think, but just a little bit of movement on a team that you're worried about. Just picking and going and grinding their way to the line, and you create a one-on-one opportunity for someone like Jasper Visa. We know his strength. We know how good he is at generating movement in the contact. And he picks out Joe Powell, smaller man, steps to his channel, and then just drives through the scrum half.
So just hold the kick for a little bit, please, mate.
It's a great pass from Cole, isn't it? But I do think there might have been a knock-on 2 phases before that.
Just checking it now, mate.
Yes, there is.
Well, there's a boot, wasn't there, that just kicked it. It's whether that touches the hand. There's the boot coming in now.
It's his left hand to watch when he goes for it now. Yeah.
So Woody, he's got his hand on it, but gets kicked by a Leicester player, so it's not a knock-on from the hand.
Freddie Burns slotting the conversions. David Rose confirming that it is a try, and Leicester regaining a 7-point lead.
It is a try, it's been given, but I'm still convinced he knocks it on. It gets kicked out of the hand to begin with, but then he touches it with his hand. You watch his left hand from Montoya, kicks it. Now it's just hit his left hand, it goes up and then back down, and then he picks it up. It's a knock on that.
I've got it on 10. I've got it on 10.
Irish have made a couple of changes. Josh Caulfield and Juan Martin Gonzalez have come on for Ratuni Uwawa and the captain Matt Rogerson. Watson strides across to take control of the situation. Francois Van Fake for Leicester on for James Whitcomb. Meantime, Paddy Jackson is now the Irish captain, by the way. Scott Porter. Been an awful long time since he played for Leicester in the Premiership. Linking up with Potter again, whose left boot linked up with the touchline.
Van Rensburg again, brilliant defence. He's done like a kipper here. Great tackle by the ref there on Parton as well. Good hit. Well done, Anthony Woodthorpe. Yep. But then as he come wide, look at Van Rensburg. He's the last man here, and he gets absolutely done by the offside, the outside of the hand offload, and still gets back to finish the tackle off. He's a big part to play if Irish go on to win this game.
Irish have changed the scrum halves. Joe Powell for Ben White. Taken by another one of the new men, Caulfield. Bold-headed Caulfield in the middle of the Irish line-out. Hassel Collins, he's got away again, and that kick had got through. It might yet cause some trouble. Hassel Collins onto it. He's creating his own little storms away on that left-hand side at the moment. And Pearson!
Oh, what a finish. It's a brilliant finish from Pearson. As you said, bit of confusion in the chase back for the kick from Leicester. Hassel Collins doesn't give up on it. That little crossfield kick, Ashton loses it over his shoulder, has to gamble on the tackle but doesn't hold on. Little bit of luck and fortune that the ball sat for him. He prodded it through, did really well to present it well, but how about this for a finish? A little step on George Martin, who'd done so well to get back, but completely done by the footwork of Pearson, who everyone is convinced is just going to barrel straight over in a straight direction towards the line, but just kicks his legs out, loses the tackle and keeps the momentum to get over the line. It's a really good finish.
Jackson to draw Irish level again. There's this going.
Oh, he's missed it.
No.
But this is all about Ben White, Nick. The fact that he's there really quickly enables the ball to come out of the ruck super fast. Yeah, it's brilliant play from Hassel Collins wide, but look how quick the ball comes out. That means as a forward, you can just start to accelerate and pick your time. Enables Pearson to put that in and out footstep on, which he does so well. Like Ben said, brilliant finish from that young man. But a lot of that is down to the 9 being in position to pass it out very quick. There's another restart they've messed up.
Moves the floor.
Restarts on Monday.
Well, they've got the ball back. Chunyamunga.
Okay, let him go, P3.
Providing the platform for the escape attempt. And Ben White, former Leicester player, moved away from Welford Road to get the opportunities he's enjoyed with Irish.
No runnage, rough forward off. 11, so Sunbury.
First time he's been back. Saw him before the game. He's looking forward to it.
He will always be checking.
Good impact so far. Howard love to be the catalyst for a famous London Irish victory, having been so far down early on.
Okay. Last picture says there's a hinge. Make sure you fight to keep your shoulders
Leicester readying themselves to bring on a new hooker and a new tight head. Charlie Clare and Joe Hayes, soon to be taking over from Montoya and Cole. There's Hayes.
Let's go, lads. Come on. Let's go, LJ.
And to the final quarter. The Gallagher Premiership match that has already treated us to 10 tries so far this Sunday afternoon.
No, never say that. Never say. Lads, let's work hard to keep our feet underneath ourselves, please. Work hard to keep your feet. Come on. Let's go, Irish, well done. Let's go, let's go. There's your mark. One. Let's go, Julian. Let's go, Julian. Let's go, 2 seconds. Seconds. Back. Second. I'm inside here. Crouch. You got him. Bind.
Harry Potter has moved on to the wing in this attacking formation. Guy Porter back into midfield alongside Matt Scott. Ball comes out, Leicester penalty.
Second penalty in this area for Leicester. Dan Cole just starting to get on top on that right-hand far side as we look at it.
He's got it.
Could become a very, very useful part of the game for Leicester. Just puts the pressure on, and yeah, you can see first man to go. Fischetti just rolls underneath.
That's him up there.
3 good men all. They'd look after you on a night out, that's for sure. Dan Cole not long left in this contest, so he's making sure that he empties the tank. Ollie Chesham and Liebenberg leading all this.
The initial response from Irish has been really good at the line-out drive. Leicester struggled to get the momentum going. Wigglesworth wants to break right.
Montosha, another who knows that his minutes are numbered in this particular match. Wigglesworth still with us. Visa. Doing Visa things. Drop goal. Freddie Burns, seen this before.
22.
Seen him do it better.
22.
We saw a couple of drop goals contribute to England's loss yesterday. Just trying to extend that lead out from a single penalty at the moment.
So here are the changes, and here's the applause, partly for him, for Dan Cole.
And number 16, Charlie Clare, and number 2, Julian Montoya.
News of Irish changes as well. Ollie Hoskins on for Chawataima, and So'otala Fa'aso'o off for Chandler Cunningham South. There's Ollie Hoskins.
Right, time back on.
Liebenberg had to stay strong there. Will Joseph was making a nuisance of himself. Martin, Leicester ploughing up to halfway but lost. Now then, turnover ball. We've seen how impressive Irish have been in this particular facet of the game.
Advantage, forward. Relax, Jasper. Thank you. No advantage. Here we go. Let's go. I'm going to come this side. You go. Let's go. Okay. Let's go, Fanny. Come on, Danny. Let's go, Hazy. Come on, let's go. Here we go, Hazy. Come on, Fanny. Here we go, Hazy. Let's Crouch. Bind. Right, lads.
Amongst those watching
First of all, we need to make sure we keep our break.
this scrum, Namani Nandola, I'm thinking, Ben, of overseas players who've just sunk themselves so much into Leicestershire culture in the time that they've been here. And I know there have been Tuesday nights when Namani fancied a bit of a run out, fancied a bit of a blowout, an extra training session, and he'd just pitch up at a local club. I think he's turned up at Quorn and Birstall and sized him with his boots and said, "Hey, that's great. Have a run around with you."
It's great, isn't it? I mean, obviously, the culture in Fiji is to play rugby socially, and the amount of the love for the game over there is huge. But what that does for the local clubs to have someone like Namani Nandola, when he's such a big presence anyway, but so skillful, and it's fantastic. And there's a certain players that we've seen a slight change in the Premiership over the last couple of years, particularly because of the pandemic, but tightening of the purse strings means not looking overseas too quickly anymore, which I think is a good thing, giving the young English talent an opportunity coming through. But we still need the stardust, the people with a USP that no one else does in rugby, and having people like him in our league has been fantastic. And the fact that he's gone out to the community and spread the word as well, he's absolutely been one of Leicester's great signings.
If I was looking for a local club for you two next week, where would you like to go? Where would you like to have a run out under fairly dodgy floodlights and have a meat pie afterwards?
I will go with Market Harborough.
Nice and close.
I'd go to Oakham.
Nice and close. Both posh clubs. Now then, Freddie Burns from inside his own half.
Pushed it, hasn't he?
Yeah. We all know, slightly shorter pitch here at Welford Road, so not the full 50-metre kick. Fell short anyway. Ashton, barely mentioned him.
Not seen him, have we? He's got turned over.
Lovely! Come on, celebrate it. 11 on the ball. Pulls the rep with him.
Approaching the final 10 minutes.
Yeah, and that worry, you can see here, London Irish almost, I think someone said in there, come on, we've got to celebrate these big moments in the game, but I think the pressure's on Leicester here. Irish sitting there on their shoulder at the moment with how the game's gone, and Leicester need some sort of spark. They can't see out this game. They know they can't do that against London Irish. They've got to force the pace. They've got to be making their own strikes, and at the moment that man's going to be slightly concerned about what's coming down various of London Irish's plays, because they've tried a lot of different things today. There've been a lot of success in different areas of the field.
Line out one by Gonzalez. Here's been well, if not Irish's player of the match, one of them, Bernard van Rensburg. It's been all over the place. Attack, defence, line out, but on that occasion it's one of Leicester's better players, Tommy Raphael, who does what he does.
He's been outstanding again. Comes up with the big play, but his engine, as you'd expect, so many good Welsh sevens, but his engine, his ability to be in the right place at the right time, even when he doesn't come up with the big turnover play, he still forces Irish to commit extra bodies to get rid of him.
Touch was missed. Frustration for Freddie Burns. Not sure how much longer Freddie Burns will be with us, because down below us, Charlie Atkinson has just been going through some fairly major warm-up work. This would be the first time he's run out here as a Tiger in the Premiership.
The only thing I would say is just Anthony Watson's just started to hobble a little bit. Just a slight signal to the bench, so there's the option for one of those two guys to fill in at 15 if Watson needs to go off.
Advantage entry.
Oh, Leicester concede the penalty. Brett Deacon talking about the number that they'd conceded when we spoke to him 10-15 minutes ago, and they're still conceding them potentially painfully now. That's gone forwards. Not gathered by Joseph, however.
60.
Charlie Clare coming through in the defence. In at the side, yeah, clear, right in front of the referee.
The Leicester change we're hearing will involve Charlie Atkinson, but it will also involve Chris Ashton.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so Freddie Burns, you'd imagine, would go to full back though. Atkinson could go there. Watson slide over to the wing.
Yeah. You'd put Atkinson at the back, wouldn't you? He's been really good under the high ball in the early part of the season.
Chris Ashton would have been busier. It'll be a frustrating day for Ashton, but a special one for Atkinson. One of the things he talked about when he joined the club from Wasps was running out here at Welford Road, and he runs out at a Welford Road on the edge of its seats. London Irish have absolutely made sure of that. They've turned this second half into a fabulous contest.
Brilliant from Visa, right through the middle onto the ball.
Yeah, on to Chandler Cunningham South. He's still there. Irish doing what they can. Hoskins involves himself. Irish have taken it down. That is brilliant defensive work, Benny, as you said, led by Visa.
Really good from Visa to cause the problem, and I think it's Caulfield that actually tries to smash into the back of it and ends up bringing the ball down. Gets initially to the first man, and then Cunningham South transfers it, slides through, but he's come right through the middle. And then, desperate to get the ball out, Ben White. They just hit in and caused the collapse themselves, London Irish. Yeah, that's the final player coming in. He's so strong, isn't he? They need to back it up, Leicester, now with a big scrum. Joe Hayes on the field. He'll want to match what Dan Cole was doing just before he left.
I'm sure you all know, but not involved in the Springboks effort down in London yesterday because that test match falling outside World Rugby's officially sanctioned window. Irish trying to repel Leicester's scrum, but instead just conceding the penalty. Visa just utterly determined.
Every millimetre, doesn't he, of the carry.
No advantage, class.
Penalty does go on Hayes' side of the scrum, but I've got a feeling if a leg fell off there, he'd keep going. Just rip. No backward steps.
The call I've got is just collapse.
Well, Leicester's last league game here was October the 8th. Disappointing defeat to Sale. It means they're a full 26 points behind Saracens at the moment, the team they beat in last season's final. Do have a couple of games in hand. If they can hang on to this, they would go 5th behind Northampton and above Exeter, but it's an if they can hang on to it.
They got away with that, Nick. That was delaying the throw. They all got confused about who was going up. That forced Irish actually to step across a little bit.
This now is a massive scrum, having conceded on Leicester's, or near to Leicester's line. Big scrum for London Irish.
Replacements, Josh Caulfield, Chandler Cunningham South. Fresh legs, fresh lungs. Both still hoping. And there's another replacement, Ollie Hoskins. Just a reminder, just before half-time, Leicester led this 26-7. Then came the penalty try before the break. Ollie Cracknell's yellow card. Rogerson, Hassel-Collins and Pearson have turned this into a proper bun fight.
We heard London Irish talking about the amount of games they've lost by a small margin this season that they feel they should have won. Despite getting that big lead, Leicester, I think London Irish will feel the same today if they don't come away with the goods.
Well, Leicester have gone down in the front row and they get another penalty, and Wigglesworth, who looks like he's going the full 80, draws it away. Back we come.
Just on that point, we saw a lot of it last season. A lot of it, you don't want to put it on one player, but Paddy Jackson misses crucial kicks. So he's missed 2 conversions, which would have taken them into the lead. Both of them very kickable. And I think there was 4 games last season where he had the last kick of the game to win those games. Had he have kicked those, Irish would have been in the top 4. I think they're a very good side, well coached, well drilled, very dangerous out wide. There's just a little tiny bit missing, and it's as a finer line as 2 points here, 3 points there.
Yeah, things stay the same. I think this will be the 5th time they've lost a match within 5 points in the Premiership this season. Not lost this one yet, but Leicester have put them in a darkish corner that they'd rather not be. Despite the best efforts of Caulfield, it's Leicester ball. Tommy Raffel rumbles in and provides some proper momentum for this surge. Caulfield at the centre of the defensive effort. Oh, it's another Leicester penalty. News doesn't get any better for Irish. Visa, Wigglesworth, Leicester with plenty of options. Chip over the top. Atkinson was chasing, but we know Leicester could press the gamble button.
Might have been the wrong kick option. Potter was out wide. Although Parton knew he was there, Parton had to stay for that sweep around from Freddie Burns, was there to cover for the chip over the top. I think he would have struggled a little bit more to get out wide to Potter, but Leicester knew they had the penalty. Can wind the clock down a little bit more as they go for the corner. Try and turn the screw.
Okay, on the line. On the line.
Irish have only ever won here twice down the years. Both of them in the Premiership. First time back in 2003, and then again 8 years ago, 2014. Mist starting to fall on Welford Road. Hope not yet fully dimmed for the visitors. Oh, that was loose, and it was very cleverly and neatly taken by Clare, and it needed to be. Francois van Feyck, Liebenberg, Wigglesworth, asking for a few more numbers on that left-hand side, closest to us. Burns waits. Guy Porter takes a couple of steps backwards. Clare. 30 seconds to go. Ball loose. Oof, Raffel importantly on it for Leicester.
Need to make sure they don't go off their feet, Leicester, here. They're not particularly aiming for the line. They're running the clock a little bit. Referee's always heightened. Freddie Burns just changing into the pocket, maybe. Now he's there.
Tackle now.
It's a shot to nothing now. He kicks it dead, he misses, doesn't matter.
Time up. Leicester can do what they want here. Oh, Irish scrum, but too late. Irish again, frustratingly so close, but again just at the death. It is Leicester, however, with a bonus point win that hoists them up the table, but in the end it was a sticky bonus point win. Irish made sure of that. Final score at Mattioli Woods, Welford Road. Leicester 33, London Irish 31.
A little bit flat at the end for Leicester Tigers, having got out to such a big lead. They allowed London Irish to come back in. They wanted that big start, having not played here at Welford Road for so long, but they were able to see it out at the end. Really big performances, in particular up front, I think, from Tommy Raffel. A couple of big turnovers, got a pork pie himself, got over the line, in the tight exchanges. So Tommy Raffel's our Gallagher Premiership Player of the Match, and Leicester get the job done, but London Irish chasing them all the way.
And I think Leicester should feel really pleased with that win. It's a difficult win after a difficult patch in the season for them where they haven't been playing rugby here, against a very good London Irish side you can never discount. Where do Irish go? What do they improve on? Just tiny little things. Kick your goals, make sure you build a score, because out wide as a threat, I don't think there's many sides better than them.
How are they bottom?
Because they can't win any games, Nick. You know, you can only get so many losing bonus points that just keeps you down there. You know, same as last season, they should have been in the top 4. Absolutely, the quality that they've got across the board in the pack and in the backs, they should be a top 4 side. They're well coached. On the field, they've just got to take themselves a bit more seriously at times and take points when actually, realistic, their instinct is to run it, take 3, go against your instincts every now and then and just build a score, and you become a completely different team.
Leicester go 5th, Ben. How happy will they be with their season to this point?
I don't think they'll be overly happy. You compare it to last year, they definitely were ahead of where Steve Borthwick expected them to be, and they ended up winning the championship. This year, they've found it a little bit more difficult. Are they playing as well as a team like Saracens at the top of the pile? No, they're not. But these little steps, these keys, we forget when a team wins something that in those championship winning seasons there are some poor performances, but they find a way to get the game won. And games like this, where you let a team back in and you still come out on top, do an enormous amount for your psychology as you build towards the end of the season and the playoffs.
Next stop for London Irish, at home at the GTEC Stadium against Newcastle next Saturday. Next stop for Leicester, Ashton Gate next Saturday evening, a game you'll be able to see with us here on BT Sport. Next stop for us, a chat with the man of the match, Tommy Raffel, who has wandered across to Sara.
Yes, but before I chat to Tommy, I'm going to ask Barry Malone to present Tommy with the Player of the Match award. Thank you, Barry. Tommy, back in club colours, in what is the club's only second game in 6 weeks in front of the home crowds. How good is it to give them the win and give them the 5 points?
It's great to be back in front of our home crowd. We're very lucky to have the support we have here in Leicester. So, yeah, they come out in numbers today, and it's great that we got the win for them.
Yeah, and it's only your second league win since late September. So for you guys as a team, what was the most pleasing part of that performance?
Look, you know, we all talked about how big it is to be back playing in front of our fans, but also it was Namani Nadolo's last game with us. So, you know, we all owed him a performance. He's been epic for us over the last few seasons. So we felt we owed him and the fans a performance. Yeah,
we're hoping to speak to Namani as well. You don't play five-a-side football with him, do you, like Freddie Burns?
No, I don't.
Okay, I was going to ask you what he was like as a keeper. Anyway, back to the rugby. Much more clinical today in the opposition's 22, especially in that first half. Were you satisfied with how things were going after the opening 40?
No, look, there's obviously a lot of things out there that we can work on, especially playing against London Irish. You know, they're such a dangerous side. Like they showed out there today, they could score from anywhere. They've got such good calibre of players. You know, we've got to be on our mettle, but you know, credit the boys to sticking to it to the very end and getting that win.
Yeah, absolutely, it was tight. And for you personally, I mean, there's a lot going on in Welsh rugby at the moment. Is it nice to be back in club colours?
Oh, look, yeah, you know, obviously a bit disappointing for me over the autumn, but it's great to be back with the boys. Great to be back in front of this home support. So it's good to be back on the field as well.
Congratulations, Tommy. Go and enjoy your Player of the Match awards. We're going to speak to Namani Nadolo now. Hi, Namani, how are you?
How you going? Good.
Emotional 43rd appearance and your last one in this special club and in that special jersey.
Yeah, it's sad, but you know, it's always an honour to play for this club, and particularly here at Mattioli, Welford Road. You know, there's a lot of memories I've made over here over the few years, but I'm just really grateful for you know, for the opportunity I get to play here.
What will you miss most about the club, the players and the fans?
Yeah, obviously playing with a group of men, you know, who put in the effort week in, week out. But most of the fans, you know, it's an awesome atmosphere here, and you know, it's one thing I'm going to miss. But you know, I thank the Leicester supporters and fans for having my back over my family and I's back for the last few years, and something I'm going to greatly miss. But you know, new venture, that's rugby, that's life, you know, and I look forward to what the future holds for me.
Yes, I'm sure, and so many memories like you mentioned. Is there one that stands out? You leave as a Premiership champion.
Yeah, I think for us, obviously winning the championship, being champions last year, when I first arrived, we were struggling to get off last place, and to see this club go from cellar dwellers to champion team last year, I think that's a highlight of my stay here. And again, the club's in good hands. A lot of young guys coming through the ranks, and I'm just glad I can say, 5-10 years from now, I can say I was part of something special at the club.
You absolutely can. Steve Borthwick was singing your praises pre-match and saying how much you've done for the youngsters in the club and the whole community. So they're going to miss you here, and we're going to miss watching you play here, Nemani. Thank you for all the memories.
Thank you very much. Cheers.